Good morning, everyone. Thank you to our residents, our guests, elected officials, and city staff for joining us here today. I hope all of you had a very Merry Christmas and wish you a wonderful 2022. First, I'd like to introduce a couple council members who are here with us today. Our President Pro Tem, Councilman Dave Hinman from Ward 1, and Councilman Tom Harwick from Ward 2. Thank you for being here today. Also, I'd like to introduce a few members of our staff. Our City Administrator, Mike Snowden, our Assistant City Administrator, Lenore Tozer-Aldez, and our Interim Police Chief, John Neske. Thanks for being here. I also recognize the Fort Zumwalt School District, Dr. Bernie DeBray, who is, as most of you know, Dr. DeBray has announced that he will be retiring after the next school year. And on behalf of all of us here, we want to thank you for all you have given to our community for over the past 41 years. You have played a huge role in building this city to what it is today, and we are truly grateful. So Dr. DeBray, congratulations on your retirement, sir. I'd also like to introduce Kathy Duck and Nina D'Angelo from the O'Fallon Chamber of Commerce and Industries. O'Fallon is so fortunate to have such a wonderful chamber to support our business community. And ladies, thank you for all that you do. Thank you. Before I begin, I'd like to take a minute to thank all our healthcare workers, our first responders, who continue to face unprecedented challenges brought on by the pandemic. Your dedication to serving your fellow residents is an inspiration to all of us, and we are grateful for all that you have done throughout the past 2 years. I also want to recognize the teachers, administrators, school board members, and who have worked so hard to keep our children safe and at school as much as possible. To everyone at Fort Zumwalt, Francis Howe, and Wentzville schools, and all who work in our numerous private schools. I know how difficult these last 2 years have been, but through it all, you have worked diligently to try and make the best decisions possible for our children's future. Finally, our city employees, who also deserve credit for all they have done over the past couple years. Despite the pandemic, our police, our streets, public works, water and sewer, Parks and Recreation, environmental service teams have continued to keep our city safe and serve our residents without interruption. And our City Hall and courts teams ensured our residents received exceptional service throughout the year. And as we begin 2022, our city is positioned for success. The last 2 have been challenged for all of us, but here in O'Fallon, we not only persevered, we thrived. O'Fallon continues to be recognized as one of America's safest and most livable cities, and our residents and businesses are dedicated to keeping it that way. My wife Debbie and I have been truly blessed to call O'Fallon home, and it is an honor to serve as your mayor. As I stand before you this morning, I am optimistic about our future. We're coming off one of our community's most successful years with strong tax revenues, a growing business environment, and growth in our residential housing. In 2021, our city saw nearly $164 million in construction investment, and more than 5,100 permits were issued over this past year. That includes 357 for single and multifamily homes, and that is an amazing accomplishment for our city, and all signs are pointing towards that growth continuing in 2022. But folks, that's only the beginning. All across O'Fallon, we are seeing tremendous economic expansion. And as a city, we're making significant investments to ensure that momentum continues. In every part of our city, we've welcomed numerous businesses and neighborhoods, both large and small. We've also seen significant growth in multifamily and senior living developments, meaning whether you're young or old, single or married, working or retired, you have a place that you can call O'Fallon home. As we move forward in 2022, we're investing heavily to ensure that O'Fallon continue to grow in future years. This year, we'll break ground on Phase 2 of the I-70 Improvement Project, which will provide better access and traffic flow on the west side of the I-70 exchange at K&M. We're already seeing development proposals for some of those areas along Phase 1 of this project, and we expect Phase 2 to continue that momentum. And on our south side, the Highway Double D improvements south of 64 are near completion, and the new Caledonia Parkway is not only bringing residential growth, but also opening up commercial opportunities throughout that corridor. Building O'Fallon's future is just not about new developments. It's reinvesting in our existing infrastructure that's crucial for our city's success. And those investments cost money. Fortunately, O'Fallon's residents continue to embrace their hometown and provide us with the resources needed to make these types of investments. In 2020, you overwhelmingly passed a use tax to support our police department and fund our street and road improvements. We're already seeing significant improvements from your support, and we're reinvesting in our neighborhood streets. This year, we'll be funding $2.7 million in concrete and asphalt improvements in your neighborhoods. These improvements will be spread throughout the city, so please drive carefully when you see your crews working in your area. The use tax also is helping our police officers. In 2021, we were able to provide our officers with the security of body and dashboard cameras. And in 2022, we move our department to the state-of-the-art dispatch system. These technological upgrades were made possible thanks to your votes and your support. Protecting your safety continues to be one of our top priorities, and we are investing in our police department to ensure that O'Fallon remains one of the country's safest cities. And in 2021, we expanded our patrol car fleet and added a new tactical training room for our officers. This fantastic training tool allows our officers to safely practice various de-escalation techniques so they can be ready for any situation they may face out in the field. We have also worked with several of our HOAs to add new license plate reading cameras throughout the city. These great new tools provide our officers with immediate feedback when crimes are reported and already have been used to solve numerous crimes and capture criminals with outstanding warrants. Also planned this year, we'll be adding a new K-9 to our police force to replace K-9 Officer Oden, who retired this past December. Being a safe place to live also involves making sure our city has safe water and sewer systems, and we continue to invest in our upgrading these systems. Our $25 million sewer plant reconstruction is very well underway, and it should, and hopefully, God bless, it should wrap up later this year. In addition, we are relining aging sewer pipes and replacing older water mains for improved service for our residents. In every survey that we do, our residents count O'Fallon Parks as our #1 asset and one of the best things about living in our city. But we know there is so much more that we can do to continue to offer first-class parks and recreation opportunities. Currently, we are working with our group of residents to develop a new master parks and recreation master plan that will guide these departments over the next decade. As part of this process, we are looking at all aspects of our parks and recreation programs, facilities, and needs. And when this process is completed later this year, we'll have a plan to help our staff and city council determine the strength and needs of these departments. Even as we plan for the future, we continue to invest in our parks. Based on our popularity of our courts in Westhoff Park, we have added even more pickleball and basketball courts in Sports Park. We will also continue our efforts to improve the fencing and facilities at many of our fields. Our Parks and Rec staff also work hand in hand with our tourism and festivals team to provide the area's best variety of festivals and events. These events have always been successful, but this past year was truly, truly unbelievable. We noticed a trend in the early spring when many of our returning parks programs quickly sold out. But that excitement continued all year long with great crowds at Jammin', Food Truck Frenzy, and our O-Day Park events. Celebration Lights raised thousands of dollars for local nonprofits and drew nearly 14,000 vehicles to Fort Zumwalt Park. This year we celebrated the 30th anniversary of this wonderful event, and our staff is already planning to make next year's display even bigger and better. Of course, our events reached their peak in July when we hosted our largest Heritage and Freedom Fest ever. With near perfect weather, great entertainment, and more than 100,000 of our closest friends, we celebrated together like never before. It was an incredible experience and truly one of the best events we've ever had in our city. And I'm here to tell you, we're going to do it again this year. All of our great events are back, and we'll be announcing several new events in the coming months. But putting on these kind of events takes planning, hard work, and lots of volunteers. Last year, O'Fallon's volunteer services team led a group of more than 1,500 volunteers who helped at nearly 50 different events. Whether it's a small event like a blood drive or a huge festival like the Heritage and Freedom Fest or a celebration of lights, we simply could not do it without our dedicated volunteers. On behalf of our city council and our city staff, thank you for all that you do. We're always looking for new volunteers, so if you want to help, just reach out to our volunteer services team. No matter what your interest, we have a great opportunity for you in the great city of O'Fallon. O'Fallon's veterans are the true heart of our community. And I'm so proud that our city continues to be recognized as one of the best places for our veterans to call home. And this past year, we celebrated a very special anniversary, the 20th year of our nationally recognized Veterans Memorial Walk. The 5 pillars of this beautiful monument stand in honor in each of our military branches. The bronze boots represent all the men and women who have served this great country. The boots were modeled after O'Fallon resident and dear friend Bill Pettis, actually Army boots from his time in the service. Bill was a dedicated volunteer and an advocate for our city's veterans before he passed away a few years ago. And I'm so grateful that he will forever be representative in this wonderful monument. But our commitment to veterans extends far beyond the walk. Our City Hall is home to our Veterans Affairs Office, which works to make sure our veterans and their family members get all the benefits they have earned. Veterans make up a great percentage of our city's workforce also. And here at City Hall, we're incredibly proud that more than 50 veterans work for the city of O'Fallon. 2021 was a year of changes. This building underwent its first renovation since its grand opening in 1999. And I'm proud to say, thanks to the flexibility of our staff, we pulled it off with minimal disruption to the public, and we have made a fantastic use of that space that we all know is the old police department. But there's a lot more changing that may not be visible. Our finance and IT departments are working with our entire staff to implement new financial, payroll, building and permitting software that will replace our older, desperate software with a single, easy-to-use system that will allow for easier communication both within the City Hall and with our residents and our businesses. We're just about halfway through the 3-year implementation process, and although it hadn't been easy, I'm very grateful to all our staff who have worked on this project. Our Public Works Department will take a huge step in planning for the future this year as well. Our 2022 budget will find the new design of a new Public Works building on the city's north side. When it's finished, this long-needed facility will give our teams a purpose-built complex that will improve the efficiency and allow our crews to better work together and share equipment across the teams. Our staff is truly, truly second to none. And in today's environment, keeping quality employees at all levels is a significant challenge. That is why our HR team is currently conducting a comprehensive salary study to ensure that our employees are compensated fairly and competitively. We all know how hard it is to get quality employees, and we're committed to making sure you have great people working for you here at City Hall and at the Justice Center. We work hard to provide you with the highest level of service, but for us to do our jobs, we depend on the businesses who drive our city's economy. When you spend your hard-earned money at local businesses, the sales tax dollars these places generate are what fund most everything that we do. And that's why we are so grateful to all of you for being committed to keep your sales tax dollars here in this great city of O'Fallon. Despite the challenges of the past 2 years, we're seeing new business opening up along every corridor. As I drive down Highway K or Bryan Road, it's amazing to see nearly every storefront filled with successful businesses and more being built every single day. We welcome several new industrial businesses to the great city of O'Fallon, including Cosmos Corporation and Dynaflex. These businesses brought hundreds of good-paying jobs to our great city, And our economic development team is also working with several of our existing industrial businesses who have seen tremendous growth and are looking to expand and hire more people. Bringing in new business is great, but we also need to make sure our existing businesses continue to thrive. This year, we expanded our economic development department, which has allowed our staff to make hundreds of visits to our business to see what they need to be successful. These efforts resulted in our team receiving multiple awards this past year, and most notably the 2021 Business Retention and Expansion Program for the state of Missouri. We also celebrated the 20th anniversary of MasterCard, bringing their Global Operations Center to the great city of O'Fallon. The opening of that building helped to launch the development of Winghaven and the city's south side, and it remains our largest employer today. Bringing new development to O'Fallon involves years of planning, and our planning and development team recently completed the city's brand new comprehensive plan, which provides a framework for future growth and gives our city council a guidebook to ensure that our growth is sustainable and intelligent. It is really an amazing time here in the great city of O'Fallon, and I'm grateful to each and every one of you for all you have done and continue to do to make this city great. But I also know that there are residents who need assistance as we continue to fight our way through this pandemic. If you're one of these residents, please know that we're here to help you. Our Public Assistance Office has numerous programs to help our low-income residents, seniors, and anyone who is negatively impacted by COVID-19. If you need help, please reach out to us. If you don't have a program that we can address your specific issue, we'll put you in touch with local organizations that can help you. This has also been a great resource for our local businesses throughout the pandemic. Over the past year, we've supported our hard-hit businesses with nearly $120,000 in federal grants to help them recover from the pandemic. As we enter 2022, we know that there are challenges ahead for O'Fallon: rising cost, supply chain issues, labor shortages, and plateauing revenues are risks for O'Fallon in every city in our state. But O'Fallon is well positioned for the future, and I am incredibly optimistic for what's to come. With more than 90,000 residents, 1,800 businesses, and hundreds of thousands of visitors who shop, dine, and stay in our community, we have everything we need to continue to see O'Fallon thrive for years to come. Together, we have built an amazing city to call home, and I'm proud to be part of it, and thank you for all you do to make that possible. On behalf of my family and all of us here at the great city of O'Fallon, our staff, our city council, our thousands of volunteers, thank you for making O'Fallon what it is today and for helping us build an even better future. Thank you, and God bless you, your families, and the great city of O'Fallon. Thank you.